అప్పుడే స్టార్ట్ అవుతుంది మ్యూజిక్ పాటలు పెట్టినా పాటలు వినిపిస్తున్నాయి. మార్నింగ్ వచ్చిందా? అదే వ్యూయింగ్ 1 అని పడింది. మేము బాగా చూస్తున్నాడు. ఏమన్నా
Hi all. Good afternoon. Welcome to Mule 4 beta discussion the first Hyderabad meetup in 2017. Happy Vinayak Chavithi. So the program agenda for today is members introduction, about us, Mule 4 discussion, group collaborations. Let us start members discussion, members introduction. So please introduce yourself, name, company, experience with Mule 3 and Mule 4, expectations, and if you have any experiences with other technologies. Okay, to start with me, so I work for EASB. So we are working on the middleware technology starting from 2005. To start with CBR, Java Caps, Oracle Fusion, Dell Boomi, MuleSoft, Apache Knifing. So we are having experience with Mule 3 and Mule 4. So today we would like to show you most of the features on the Mule 4. So next.
So hi, this is Santosh. So I am a Mule certified developer. So I have 2 years plus experience in the Mule. So I also worked for the Dell Boomi, like Oracle Fusion and TIPCO. So currently we are also testing Mule 4 beta. So I am part of a EASB family. Thank you.
Hi, this is Salma. I am a Mule certified developer, and I am having the experience 2+ experience in the Mule. That's it.
Hello, my name is Manoj Kumar. I am a Mule certified developer and I am having a 1 year experience on Mule. Currently, I am working with EASB family and I am very excited to be here. Thank you.
Hello, good evening everyone. This is Venkat Prasad Reddy. I have 1 year experience in Mule and I have worked in Dell Boomi and Apache Knifing. I am a family member of EIESB. Thank you.
Hi, this is Gordon Reddy. I have worked for, I'm having 3.7 experience in ESP and working for the MuleSoft, and I'm a Mule certified person. That's all.
Hi, my name is R. Venkatesh Sharma. I'm a certified Mule developer. I have 1+ years of experience at EAESP Software Solutions, and I have even worked for Dell Boomi and Apache Knifing. And today I'm a part of Mule testing beta 4.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Shilpa. I'm a MuleSoft certified developer, and I have worked even for Dell Boomi. Thank you.
Good evening everyone, my name is Tigraj Kumar. I am a Mule certified developer. I am having 1 year experience in MuleSoft. I have worked on Dell Boomi and Apache Knifing. Now presently I am working in EISB Software Solutions, and I am a part of Mule 4 testing team.
Good evening, everyone. This is Urmila. I have a 1 year of experience in EIS, like Mule, and I even work for Dell Boomi, and I'm working in EISB.
Hey everyone, this is Muralidhar. I have been working on Mule from past 1.5 years. So I am also the part of Mule 4 testing. I am currently the Mule advocate in Mule Champions program, and I am part of ESB family currently. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Shahid Nawaz Khan. I am a Mule certified developer, and I have expertise on middleware technologies like Mule. And today I have attended the also discuss with the team about new products.
So thank you. So let us discuss about us. So EASB is established in 2008 and we are headquarters based out of Hyderabad. So currently we have 20 plus resources working on various middleware tools and we provide solutions using all the middleware tools and API technology solutions, data science solutions, IoT solutions, middleware infrastructure and support services using all the middleware technologies and tools. And as we said, like we have established in 2008, for the last 9 to 10 years, we have been instrumented with a lot of tool technologies as shown here. So to start with the CBN, Java, Oracle, TIBCO, MuleSoft, currently all the cloud solutions, data science solutions, Spring Boot, so continuous integration, lot of things. And let us jump onto our today's discussion on Mule 4. So how our journey has started on Mule 4. MuleSoft has opened a beta version during the last week of July 2017. Our team has started working on a MuleSoft the next day when the MuleSoft has announced the version. So as a part of our learning, so we have seen many issues on Mule 4. So the team has worked like why it is not working. They have instrumented on Windows environment, installed on Unix and environment, installed on the Mac versions, and they are able to find the fixes and find the solution for all the problems occurred in the Mule 4. And few surprises we seen on the architecture size in Mule 4. And there are a lot of new features which we will be discussing in the next slides. On the high level, the whole team has worked on set of connectors which are the core of any of the Mule 4 or a MuleSoft. The first connector we have started with HTTP, file, FTP and SFTP, databases, JMS, SMTP, POP3 and IMAP, Salesforce, exception handling. Okay, so now let us start with the HTTP connector. Santosh? Yeah. So the first one is, so when we started with installing MuleSoft 4, okay, the first issue what we have seen is we have installed onto many of the systems. When we install onto all the developers missions, out of 20 members, on 3 or 4 systems we are able to execute the program as expected in the MuleSoft 4, and remaining systems we are not able to start with the Mule program or develop the Mule project or Mule flow. The basic problem what we have seen is like for a few of the systems we got the HTTP connector, but for a few of the systems we did not get the HTTP connector. So as we told you, like architecture got changed. Earlier in 3.8 we used to see the connectors on the right hand side in the panel. But now, as if you don't need any of the connectors, you need not to package them as a part of your application and you need not see the connectors. So that is the first change what we have seen. So for the HTTP, we try to add the module. We need to add the module. When we try to add the module or connector, so we have seen the issues. Okay, so we did lot of investigation. Okay, we were able to see like why it is coming on one mission, why it is not coming on another mission. Initially we thought either the issue with the operating system. So then we installed onto the Windows, Unix or Ubuntu and the Mac. We have not seen any issues on the Mac and Ubuntu. We are seeing all the issues only on the Windows. So we started setting up a virtual machine with the Windows 7. There also we have seen the issue. So we were not able to identify what exactly causing the problem. So having a J2E expertise with some of our developers, so they have seen some issues like with the JDK. So what they did was, like, as MuleSoft is entirely tightly integrated with the Eclipse, so the few of the developer recommended go to the environment and point the JDK instead of JRA in the environment side. So the development team has made the changes. Unfortunately, even after the change also, we could not get any solution. The same problem has occurred. So then again the J2E team has started working the issues, and they finally identified, because it's an Eclipse, so some of the Eclipse has the environment variable where we can set the environment variables. So having taken that as a solution approach, the team has included a path to the JDK, okay, as a VM parameter, such that it will take the JDK instead of the JRE. So this is the first struggle when we started with the Mule 4 beta. And as soon as we found the solution, we have documented it, we have put into our blogs. Okay, so we could not get any documentation from the Mule, and we are reporting all the solutions. Like whenever there is a problem, we used to report this problem to Mule 4 beta email ID provided by the MuleSoft. Okay, as soon as we get the solution, so for the sake of Mule community, to whatever the struggle we have made, like the Mule community should not face the same problem, so we have put into a blog and we have published the blog on our blogs. One can refer all our blogs.easb.com, there where you can see all the Mule blogs. As soon as we published, like, yes, Mule has taken, because it is in a beta and we have tested it, so the Mule has considered the bugs we have reported. Now they have put into their documentation site. Initially we did not find the documentation in their site. Now you can see what are the issues we have faced, how this can be resolved, like they have documented clearly on their website. Okay, moving to the next. So let us talk about the HTTP. So Sandesh, can you talk about the HTTP?
Thank you, Vijay. Thank you for this opportunity. So, hi everyone. Yeah, this is Santosh. So, I am currently working on the Mule 4 testing. So, with the EASB family. So, the major architecture got changed coming to the Mule 4. So, so most of us working with the 3.x. So, where we can have a single connector for a single operation or module. So let us take some connectors like HTTP or DB, file, FTP, SFTP. There are single connector. So based on its position, so the automatically connector turns into the inbound or outbound. Like so, whatever the position placed we are, so that is the point where it acts as in like inbound or outbound. So coming to the Mule 4 architecture, so probably I will show you the Mule 3.x and 3.4 like 4.x. So the how exactly happens in the Mule architecture and how would the studio look like. Okay, so after that I will explain you. So the major change in the HTTP, coming to the HTTP, so in the 3.x, so we have a single connector for HTTP. So you can drag and drop into the flow. So when you placed in the source side, it acts as an inbound point for you and creates in a server, HTTP server for you. You can configure anything, you can module anything, like you can implement in a service on the over HTTP, you can share it, right? So coming to the Mule 4.x, so whenever we have a different connector for HTTP, like basic security filter, listener, like load static resource request. So these are the different connectors, not are the different operations in a single connector. They are the different connectors in single module. So they segregated the same connectors into the module. So let us take as like Salesforce. So Salesforce or something Salesforce. So in the initial days, Salesforce has a single connector. With a single connector, so you can have a multiple operation, like it's a single API call. So coming to the 4.x, so it has a different connectors for the different operations. So let us take like a Salesforce has like number of operations. So like query all, insert, delete, or update, or something else. Like there are so many operations in the Salesforce. So for each operation, they will provide a single connector
So for each operation, each connector they are implemented and they are given us. So that is the uh, very advantage for us to develop anything. So in the back olden days, like in the Mule 3.x, okay. So whenever you want to read in a file or you get in a file from the any location or like FTP or something SFTP or file, you need to take in a some more adapter or some more connector like a Mule requester, right? So instead of that, they implemented, they understand our problems, they come up with the solutions with a new architecture. So like we have a read, write, update and delete. There are different connectors for different operations. You can read anywhere, you can write anywhere, you can delete in anywhere of your flow. Okay. So in the HTTP, so I would like to share you like a major difference from with the HTTP. So in the 3.x, you need to explicitly set for a response. So it does not give you the automatically response. So whenever we need an so last connector will give you the response, right? So let us take in a single like sample scenario like hello world. So whenever most of us will do the hello world first whenever you are testing any middleware tool or something else, right? So we will place HTTP connector and we used to set some set payload. So in the set payload we will write some string operations like hello world or hello mule 4 beta something else, right? So instead of that, in that olden days you need to explicitly set the payload for your operation. It does not automatically take the last payload of last the connector payload and gives you back to the response. Okay. So in the Mule 4.0, so defaultly it automatically set the last payload, so you can override it. So that is the major difference from 3.x to 4.x. The developer jobs made easy with the 4.x, that's what I can say. Okay. So and the next slide will going to explain you by the Murli. Murli, can you?
Thank you, Santosh. Hey everyone, I hope you are doing very well in exploring, discussing the new features in Mule 4.0. So I am here to discuss few points regarding the differences of a file from Mule 3.x to 4.0. So before I discuss few points, I would like to ask few questions on file or streaming. So first question is, you are having a Mule flow which takes input from a as a JSON payload, and after HTTP you are going to put it in a logger and you are wishing to write that payload to file. So what will it happen? Will the payload be printed on the console? Will the payload be written to a file? What happens? Yes, the payload will be written to console because of the help of logger, but it will be in byte stream, and the payload will be written to the file also. So that has completed, right? I would like to put another question here. So instead of the logger there, you are putting another file, which means file outbound. So you know that in Mule 3.x source and process. In source, if you put it acts as a Mule inbound, and if the process it acts as a Mule outbound. So you are taking payload from HTTP, next putting it to file outbound, and you have another file outbound connector. So what will it happen now? Will the payload be written to both the file locations? So that's what happens here. So whatever the payload taken by the first file outbound connector is totally consumed, and the next payload will not be gone to the second file outbound. So the file will be created in the second location with null payload. So the problem is, once the payload, so I will explain the first one. Because the payload need to be written to the console, the logger consumes the full payload into in memory. That's why it is as the payload is available in memory, that payload will be passed on to the file connector also. But here, to write to a file, it need not consume it into in memory. It directly consumes the whole payload and stream. It writes the file location. So that's why the stream is not available to the file outbound connector, which is in second position. So this has been modified, and the architecture has been changed to overcome the problems faced by these situations in Mule 4.0. Hope you guys are getting my points steadily, and you are getting right points. So to change the architecture and to resolve these problems, Mule 4.0 has been modified. So the stream is, you need not know which connector access stream, which pass stream and which consumes the whole stream, and wherever the stream ends, you need not know these points in Mule 4.0. So whenever there is a stream, it will be totally consumed, it will be put into in memory by default. So if the in memory size, if they put some around 64 MB, if that payload is more than the stream size is more than that buffer, that will be backed up into a file automatically by Mule architecture, Mule 4.0 architecture. That payload has been completed and the flow has been executed, that memory from the backup file will be removed. That way they have dissolved the problem of streaming. So now I will discuss few points regarding the file here. Okay. So as I said before, you don't have any file, you don't have many connectors for read and write. So you have just single connector. Based on the position you use the file connector, that will be act as the read or write position. If you have in 3.x, I am discussing these points regarding 3.x. So if you put the file connector in source position, it acts as read operator and reads the file from defined location. So if you put that file connector in process location, it writes the content to a file. So to read a file from process, to read a data from in the process location, you need to use another module called Mule requester. So this has been rectified and modified in Mule 4.0. You can see there are around 10 operations there. The first one is copy. You can also see the list operation here. In Mule 3.x, you don't have that facility. So for each operation, there is a separate connector built in Mule 4.0. So that's helped the developer need not know where the position he is in the connector. He just simply needs the whatever the requirement he has, just find the connector and use that in whatever the position he needs. So you can also see move and for even operation rename, there is a connector called rename. These are the differences of file we have observed from 3.x to 4.0. So I'll continue with discussing the differences in FTP and introduce FTP in Mule 4.0. Yeah, similar to the file, FTP also acts as the inbound or outbound based on the position you use in the flow. So in Mule 3.x, you don't have operation to list the files in a particular FTP location, similar to file. So to rectify that, we as a part of ESB family, we built a connector FTP list which lists a file based on certain patterns given by the user. So we publish this to MuleSoft. They have identified these and they have built a separate connector FTP list in Mule 4.0. See, you can see list operation listed in Mule 4.0, MuleSoft 4.0. So similar to the file, for each and every operation there is a connector built separately in Mule 4.0. So this helps the developer to instead of knowing what are the position he is going to build use the connector, he just know the requirement and just use the specified connector available in Mule 4.0. That's it, guys. Thank you. So next, my colleague Santosh will be continuing.
Okay, thank you, Murli. Thank you so much for your valuable information. So, add to you, Murli, to summarize you, like in the Mule 3.x, like we have so many transformers, right? Like a byte array to object, object to string, string to object. So, for your information, there is no more transformations in the 4.x. There is nothing there in the like object to string or string. So we are much struggled with the transformers. So we might don't know like which connector will read as in a byte array or which connector will read as in a string format. We are used to struggled with the byte array. Someone we can like whenever you drop and you need to read from the file location. So you can buffer like a byte stream concepts. So in the Mule 4 they have summarized all the things and they will remove all the things. By default it automatically they will stream your input and they will drop into your like in memory and they will give you the as a complete packaged version, like packaged version. Okay, so and the next connector will explain you by the Shilpa. So thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Now I am going to explain about database connector.
Like in 3.x Mule version, we have only one database connector for multiple operations. But coming to Mule 4 version, Mule 4.0 version, we have we have database module with different connectors for different operations. Like for select operation, we have one connector. For insert, we have another connector. Likewise, for all operations, we have different connectors. Thank you.
Thank you, Shilpa. So, and the next connector is for JMS. So, is explained to you by the Kranti.
Good afternoon, everyone. As it is explained by our EASB family members, the JMS connector is also works as as listener when it is in inbound properties and as published outbound properties. But that issue has been solved in 4.0. Here we can use it anywhere in the flow, and the connector has a special connector that is publish and consume, which can for publishing as well as for consuming at the same time, which is not there in the 3.8 version, 3.x version. That's a major difference in the JMS we can see in 4.4 beta version.
So thank you, Kranti. So the next connector is for email. So as your information, like 3.8, in the 3.8, so we have different connectors, right? So IMAP or IMAP, SMTP, POP3. So in the Mule 4, so we have like a single module, like email. In that module, they segregate all the connectors which are related to the email, like sending the email or receiving the email. They are putting in a single module called email. So the email connectors are the delete, spunk, folder, like a list map, list pop3, mark as read, mark as deleted. So okay, so you can see like initial 3.x we have a different connector for SMTP, like pop3, IMAP, and the list map, right? So you can list out your mails according to your time based and all the things in the Mule 4.x. So that is the option we can't able in the 3.x, right? And is for the Salesforce. So we are in nowadays, so we have got so many requirements, like we can have to connect to the SaaS applications like ServiceNow or Salesforce or something else, right? So they provide us in the 3.x, they provide us like an APIs for different APIs to connect with the Salesforce, right? So in the single API, there is a multiple operations in there. Okay, so that will explain you by the Venkateshwar. Okay.
Hi all. Coming to the Salesforce connector, in Mule 3.8, the Salesforce connector, we have only one Salesforce connector for both inbound and outbound properties based on its position. Whereas in Mule 4, the Salesforce module has different connectors for each operation. For example, we have a connector for create job, delete all, etc. So that's the difference of Salesforce.
Okay. So before I jump into the exception handling, so I would like to summarize all the things. So let us take in a simple scenario. So where the scenario is like you need to list out all the things from the some file location. So you need to go into the file location and you can verify the how many files are there. You can list out the files. So in the 3.x, we can't able to list out all the things in the 3.x. So right. So in the coming to the 4.x, so we can able to list out the files, number of files in there, and you can read by file. Okay, you can write into the multiple operations. That just like many to many, right? You can perform in the 4.x, but you can't able to list out the files which are in the which are in the like a folder or FTP or SFTP in the earlier days. So that is the main difference. And moreover, so many all of us know like a Mule requester. So that is the popular one connector in the now like earlier days. so which is used to read the file from the external systems or in the local systems like file or FTP or SFTP, right? So the problem is, so whenever you want to read the file from any external sources in the middle of your flow, so that means that you can take like a web consumer, like not like a, let us take in a simple scenario for web service. So the web service, the client requirement was you can, you need to place in a file in the FTP location. So in order to write the file into the FTP location, you need to pick up from the file from different FTP. That means FTP to FTP transfer. That going to happen whenever the service hits. So the service hidden by the some other service which is correlated or some correlated service. So in that operation we can able to resolve this by using HTTP, single HTTP. Whenever the request service will request the server of your main service, and then you can write. But the problem is, in order to read the file from your FTP location, the connector needs to be in the inbound, but you can't read the file from the different locations in the middle of the flow, right? So that is the place where the mule requester comes, right? So mule requester can have the ability to read the file in the different locations in the middle of the flow, right? So that the problem will overcome in the 4.x. So here we can have the read character, read, write, or different connectors for different operations. You can drag and drop, you can configure all the things. Okay, so ultimately the ultimate change was like data wave. So I would like to share more on the like data wave and expression language. So in the earlier days, like MuleSoft have the multiple complex languages like MEL, Mule expression language, and data wave languages, which are the 1.0 version, the earlier 3.x versions, right? So the developer needs to learn two things in the earlier days, like Mule expression language and data wave language. So the data wave language is only the specified to the three, I mean, a transfer message. So you when what the code you are written in the transfer message, that is the data wave language. You need to write the data wave language to understand by the transfer message. So in order to fetch the details, or in order to get the details, or to set the variables, or to get the variables, so you can use the Mule expression language. So that means you have to learn two languages in the earlier days. So coming to the Mule 4.x, so data wave is the king. So data wave is the king. Why I am specifying the data wave is the king means, so the Mule expression language is gone. So they merged all the things and they will come up with only one language which can be understood by the developers, which can be easily used, which can easily used by the all the developers. So moreover, in the earlier days, we need to have like more Java knowledge to perform the Mule operations, to get the expressions and string formations and all the things, string splits, and so this is the case, right? So in the data wave language, there is a, though we have we need to some have the Java knowledge, but I can say like if you have like 30 to 40% of Java knowledge with the data wave, you can do the multiple services in the MuleSoft. So that what I can say. Like in earlier days, Java is the compulsory for the MuleSoft, and you need to learn the Mule expression language and data wave, right? And moreover, data wave is the king, and the streaming concept. So as I said, the streaming is gone. So the everything is packaged like packet version. You can use anywhere in the flow. So coming to the exception handling, so yeah, you can see like the flow is different in the 3.x versions. The flow is uh, the flow is the flow is split into the three parts, like source, process, and the error handling, right? So here we can have the like three multiple parts in the three parts in the single flow, like main flow.
that is source, process and error handling. So in the earlier days, like for suppose you have to set in like a try catch block or something else in the for some particular character, so you can't handle by the time in the 3.x, like whatever you want to do like exception handling for that special character, you can't perform. Everything is all come to the your main flow error handling. In that error handling flow you can do like multiple exception strategies which are very confused to every developer, right? So those are the catch exception strategy, choice exception strategy and custom exception strategy, like custom exception mapping. So there are the different mapping strategies and different exception strategies for different use cases. Like for suppose you have multiple connectors in your flow like a database, file, FTP, right? So you need to route the DB exception to some other mail, so some to the some other flow or something else. Then you can use like a choice exception strategy. By used on the exception you can route your flow according to the exception, right? So in the coming to the Mule 4.0, this is the major difference in the Mule 4.x compared to the 3.x. So all the exception strategies are gone. They are replaced by the simply two connectors, on error continue and on error propagate. So which are uses for the main error handling block and your try catch block. So I can say like there is a one more connector, like one more scope, which is try catch scope, right? Try catch block. You can drag and drop your main flow in the process side. In the process side you can drag and drop the try catch block. In the tripod you can configure whatever you want, like a database or something else which you can uh, which may gives you the exception, right? So drag and drop your database or something else. And in the uh, in the main flow have the error handling part, and your try catch block also having the error handling part. So the try catch block having the error handling part is for the particular connectors which you have placed in the try block. So just like so we have the try catch mechanism in the Java side, right? So whatever the code you are written in the try block, so if the exception occurs in the try block, it goes to the catch, right? So here we can take it as a try catch block, like not they replaced the name with the try and error handling. So the error handling here is nothing but than a catch. So you can do like it will catch the exceptions, and then in the error handling block you can drag and drop the on error propagate or on error continue. So like on error propagate means, so it will catch the exception of your try block and it will throws into your main error handling block. So right, in the on error continue means, so whenever the error occurs in the try block, it will execute the catch block. So for suppose you can take like a email connector is there in the try like catch block. So you need to notify someone else. So the error got, hey, come, like wake up, it's a error got in the database. So you can configure like a email in the catch block in the on the try catch block up, like a error handling block in the try, right? The on error continue. So whenever you place an on error continue, so it will execute the connector and it will continue your flow. It not come out of your flow. It will continue your flow by the executing of catch block, right? So that is the main difference between like exception handling from 3.x to 4.x. So thanks, Santosh. Thanks, sir. So now let us discuss on the group collaborations. So the basic intention here is we would like to know, like, if you are facing any of the issues and if you want to address us any of the use cases, okay, feel free to let us know, such that we'll take up your issues or your concerns or your request, we'll come up with the solutions. And the people like who has not attended today, so feel free to post a message on the discussion in our meetup link. So we'll take up it and we'll proceed further solution approaches. Okay.
Santosh, I have one question. You are updating like try catch flag, right?
Yes.
In place of catch, okay, you are giving error handling kind of.
Yes, yes.
So here, in place of catch, they are introducing that one, or
Yes.
in case of catch, having the error handling, in the error handling, the subcomponents like on error continuation and all error propagate kind of thing. How
Okay.
we can able to, I mean, where it will comes into place?
Okay. Address you like Kanchi. So, uh, the try block is exactly a replica of your Java try catch block. So the name got changed from catch to error handling. So in that catch block, if you want to place like a DB adapter or something, a notifier like a email to send an email. So in order to place an email connector, you need to set like what I do, like if the exception occurs, what I do, whether I need to continue or whether I need to come out of your flow and execute the main flow error block. So we need to mention like on error propagate or on error continue. So in the in the catch block, that means in the error handling block, you need to place the like on error propagate or on error continue. So whenever you place an on error continue or on error propagate, so it simply like a subflow of your catch. Okay, so in the subflow you can place email connector or some other notifier, or you can persist your error exception and you can log your files. Okay, so that may useful for you.
And to add to those, so like in general we will having different types of errors. Let us take HTTP. So we will be getting like if it is a success, we will get the 200. If that link is not available, we will get the 404. Sometimes we will get like you don't have the access, or the resource is not accepted, resource is not available. So here we can catch each and every different numbers. For each and every different numbers, what you need to do. So Mule has like put everything into some sort of a list, like where depending on your requirement you can take it up and you can proceed for the exception handling or like error handling as mentioned in any of the programming languages. So what we can do is like to strengthen the Mule community. So we are open to help all the community members, developers from any organization. Feel free to send us the messages, like anyhow most of our developers are part of Mule WhatsApp groups, so Mule Facebook groups, and even we have opened the meetups. So please post your requirements, like we are happy to come up with the solutions. Okay, and we would like to tell you, so for the next week we are open to take the any of the topic for next week. We'll finalize the next week topic on Monday. So if you have any questions or any requirement, so on Mule 4 we'll take up that as a topic for the next week meetup. Okay, till that like we are opening the options to all the Mule community to give us a topic. Okay, so if not, like we'll take up the any of the Mule features and we'll come up with the next meetup. So we have like having expertise on the all the middleware projects. On top of Mule, like we have developed a few products. Okay, one is a Mule common logging and error handling framework. Okay, we have tested this with the Mule 3.8 and the Mule 4 also. So like this, which contains like a dashboard, like which can be like all the errors can be segregated, can be handled. Let's say if like in general, like most of the scenarios, like you are sending a notification whenever error occurs. If the developer leaves the organization, again you need to open the code and you need to redeploy the code after modifications. Now we have come up with a UI, so where you can modify and everything in just a minute's of time, and that can be deployed. You need not to recompile the code and deploy the code. Okay, so like if you want, like you can watch our YouTube videos. So like the link is provided there, and like having expertise for the last 10 years on the most of the middleware tools, we have built a managed file transfer on top of a Mule. Okay, so which can be, let us say if you have the requirements like where you need to get the data from Salesforce and dump onto the databases, or you take the data from the databases and dump onto the Salesforces. You need to move the files from the FTP to another FTP or FTP to SFTP. So lot of things like we have automized, okay, lot of requirements by using MuleSoft only. Our MFT is built on top of MuleSoft, and we have used the open source tools to come up for the UI. So this UI will provide you like a dashboards, like how many interfaces are running for the hourly, for a daily basis, weekly basis, how many interfaces got error, like you can schedule as per your requirements. And like as you all know, like Mule does not have the BPM, and Mule recommends, okay, using any of the open source BPM like JBPM and Activity BPM or something like that, Bonetta Soft BPM. So what we did is like we have not done big wonders, but we have used the only MuleSoft connectors, and we have built the BPM capabilities, having won the excellent award from the Oracle, and we have done a lot of customizations on the Oracle BPM. So we have built a BPM to support the Mule community. You need not go back to any of the other vendors only for the sake of approval. So the approval mechanism can be, you can have your own structure. So the reporting structure, the employee, whom he reports to, which group he belongs to, all those things can be configured in the UI. Like the UI also built using the open source tools, okay. So you can deploy it, you need not to pay any licenses to anyone. So just deploy it and start. If your interface requires any of the approval mechanism, feel free to reach us, like we'll provide the BPM solutions to you without any cost. Okay, so anyhow you are trying to use the another BPM solutions, we recommend having a part of a Mule community. We recommend you use the Mule BPM instead of other BPMs, though it is also no cost involved in it. Okay, next. So and we also did like our DevOps teams, so has did a lot of customizations by using the Jenkins, GoCD, Bamboo, like using all these, any of these tools. Okay, so we have automated all the build and development. Okay, so which is like, which can remove error prone deployments to the higher versions, higher environment. Okay, you can watch the videos onto the MuleSoft and Jenkins, MuleSoft and Bamboo, MuleSoft and GoCD. And GoCD does not have the requirement, they did not have the any of the connectors to deploy the MuleSoft. So as you all know, like MuleSoft provides different options. They provide the REST APIs, they provide a command line, they provide Mule UI to deploy the applications. So we have used the APIs, and we have built a connector for the GoCD for doing the automation. So the continuous deployment can happen even with the GoCD. So we are proud to say, like we have implemented the connector to support the GoCD community. So GoCD also, it contains like community edition and price edition, enterprise edition. So we have provided the connector, like people can use the connector for the deploying the MuleSoft applications. And the final word, so guys, like as you know, like we provide books onto the MuleSoft. So feel free to register with us or send an email to us with your official ID. So like as we all are, like we are giving a free of cost, like we are helping the community to learn the Mules. We recommend, like we can send the books only to the official ID. So to your customer you are working, we are not going to spam your box with any of the new things. If you are registering with us, you are sending an email to us, you just receive a MuleSoft book, and we are not going to touch your email ID in future. Okay, so please provide us your official email ID. If you are sending any of the Gmail or any of the proxy emails, our mission is going to identify it as a spam, and we are not going to respond. So please cooperate by providing, if you need a book, please cooperate by providing your official ID to us. We'll share the books with you. And if any questions, feel free to write back to mule@eaisb.com. We are happy to help you. Thanks for your time. So let us have a like after this session, let us take a snacks and have a photo, and we'll be uploading to meetup group. So thanks for your time. See you next week. Thank you.